Hello, Wendy.
Okay, what we're going to talk about today is memories. Memories of our quick trip to Mexico yesterday, and I do mean quick. We left at what time?
We left at 6:30 a.m. from Pine Canyon.
And we got home at what time?
11:30 p.m.
Wow. And we drove how far?
Well, we drove, I don't know exactly how many miles it is, but we drove all the way to Progresso, Mexico. That's in South Texas. It's supposed to be a 5.5 hour drive, but it was 7
Yeah,
for sure.
7 or 8 or 9.
Each way.
7. And okay, so why was the urgency? Why'd we go?
Well, my mouth is really screwed up. I have upper partials, lower partials, and so I really need a lot of dental work. Here in the States, they want 45 grand minimum for implants, blah, 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 blah.
At a Clear Choice place, which
Right.
is the ultimate for people who can afford it.
Yes, and that would be my choice, Clear Choice.
Okay, so, and you've been to other dentists to see what they have
I've
to
been
say.
to at least 6 or 7 dentists, statewide, Mexico.
And when you say Mexico, when we were on vacation last year, I got an appointment for you at some place in Cozumel that seemed legit. We went there for an interview, and we were like, how do you feel about that place?
Oh my God, the guy took a phone picture of my mouth and sent it to his guy in Playa del Carmen and said they could do my, for $5,000, they could do my implants the next day and I could dive. And that's bullshit.
Yeah, we know that's bullshit. So it was, when you think of dentistry here, it is so not like dentistry there.
No. And the best is yet to come, as we will tell you.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, go.
So, we drive. We finally get, to the bridge at Progresso, Mexico.
International Bridge.
International Bridge. And we parked in the parking lot because, we had our guns in the car and we can't take guns into Mexico, although God knows that's where we would need them. And so we crossed the bridge and there's a federale, a Mexican cop that has an x-ray machine and everything that you're supposed to go through, but he never did that to us because I still had my pocket knife on me. And I told him I was looking for such and such a doctor and such an address.
We had an address written down for an appointment that we had, but what we didn't know was that the main street of Progresso probably has
Avenida Juarez.
upwards of 1,000 dentists on it.
Well, I don't know about 1,000, but how about hundreds of dentists? Everybody is a dentist, and everybody knows how to do implants, and everybody knows how to do everything.
And they can all do it at a good discount.
Oh yeah, good discount is at least 15,000. So that's better than U.S.
Yeah, a lot better. So it was tempting. It's always been tempting to go overseas because with Fernando's language skills and how close we are to Mexico, it's always been tempting to see if we can get a good deal and get it done right there for a lot less money. So that was our motivation.
So we get across the International Bridge. The Mexican federale doesn't take us through x-ray or nothing. I asked him where we could find this dentist, and what's he do? There's a guy right next, like 3 feet away, and says, "Oh, he'll show you where." And I'm like, "Cool." So the guy takes us up to like a building like next to the border, like right there.
Literally, as soon as you step through the immigration gates, there's a building, the first building with like at least 3 or 4 dentist office in it.
Yeah. And I'm stupid, naive, and the guy takes me up there, and I tip him $1 for being so helpful.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Wendy knew that it was bullshit.
I knew that that couldn't be the guy we had an appointment with. It might have been Morris Street, but right as soon as we step onto it couldn't be.
And the office was not air conditioned. It looked like shit, and and this guy came out, and I said, "Oh, Dr. Lopez." And he's like, "Lopez?"
No, he didn't say it like asking. He acted like Lopez, like it could be him, because he knew that we'd been hornswoggled into coming up there.
Yeah.
That you had an agenda, but we were just dumb Americans.
Ignore.
Oh, okay.
So, sorry, Alyssa. So, anyway, Wendy knew that it was all bullshit.
Yeah,
And
when we were signing in, I said, what makes you think this is the right place?
And I went out to look at the address because it's supposed to be 121 Juarez Avenue. And it was like number 3. So I knew the 121.
So we finally got it with the program, and some guy on the street was trying to get our attention because he wanted us to hire him to take us to the right place. And he did. But he was hauling ass. He looked semi-American. Maybe that's why we let him do it. But he guided us through the labyrinth of street vendors and beggars and
peddlers.
Street people.
Do you want some Xanax? Do you want some Valium? What do you want? Anything you want, you can have. And we're like,
Yeah. And we got, it was probably 100 degrees while we were there, so we were hauling butt down the street, following this guy. Fernando kept looking back to make sure I was behind him. But at one point, they got a little bit further ahead of me, and 3 guys got between us. And between their bulk and the street happenings, all of a sudden I looked around and there was no Fernando. And I'm like, oh my. And I looked up some stairs. It said dentist's office, and I went like, did he go up there?
Yeah, but there's dentist's office everywhere. Everybody's a fucking dentist.
Everywhere. That's why I was like, I felt this pit in my stomach saying, oh my gosh, I'm vulnerable. So I reached for my phone. I was going to call him. But right then, some guy who obviously had been watching us looked at me and pointed down the hallway.
But not only that, did you not hear me say, hey?
No, I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear that?
No. And so then right then Fernando showed up. So I was so relieved because, man, that was a scary moment for me. So then we hauled butt, and he took us right to the office.
Dr. Lopez's office.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead, Wendy. Talk.
Well, we get into this office, and it's semi-air conditioned, as is in a lot of places in Mexico. They think air conditioning is not what we think of air conditioning. But so Fernando signs in, and there's this guy named Robert who speaks English and who has been to the Woodlands where we live, and he knows Houston somewhat. So he was making us feel comfortable. And the office was not like what we think of as dentist's office or professional offices. It was clean, but it was very old and rather decrepit.
It wasn't clean.
The office was. Right. Okay, so then finally the dentist comes out, and he and Fernando chat for a minute, and then Fernando and I are escorted to the back.
And Wendy was going to have her teeth cleaned there, which within 10 minutes I knew that she was not going to have her teeth cleaned there because God only knows what would have happened. So go ahead.
Okay, so they lead him back. There's 3 bays. The last bay, they ask him to sit in this dental chair that was probably maybe 40, 50 years old. And there's nothing bad about that, but
filthy, disgusting.
Obviously, they are not putting money into this place at all.
They don't have a cleaning service because I don't know if on the arm that I put my arm on, all the nasty stuff down there was either dried up blood or mucus or puke or what. It made me want to puke.
So the dentist, with his gloves on, proceeds to probe in Fernando's mouth.
Well, he wanted me to take my partials out first. And I told him, I said, no, I'm here to interview you. And I said, and I can't take my partials out because I have a lot of gook in them, meaning adhesive, whatever.
Yeah, so he probes for maybe under a minute, and then all of a sudden he has already made the diagnosis, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the diagnosis was?
Damn, he's good. I need 6 implants, and my existing partials are good, and my teeth are good, and my bone is good, and by God, I can have it all done at a reasonable price.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, well, I'm not doing it right now. I'm here to interview you, but if you would put it in writing, that's something to go from, blah, blah, blah. So,
by that time, you already knew.
yeah, but the best part is Wendy interviewed him. Oh, baby, you were fantastic. You grilled his ass.
I wasn't that. It wasn't
yeah, you
all
are.
bad.
You grilled his ass.
Well, by that time, I pretty much figured you were not going to go with it because you were like too blasé, and you said we want to come back and clean your teeth tomorrow, and that was my clue. I said, this is not a no-go. So while they were standing there, I thought, all right. So I wanted to ask him questions like, okay, so do you actually do the implants? Oh no, we have somebody else that does. Well, do you make or where do you get your implant material from? Oh, well, we have a company, a factory that creates all that stuff, and then they bring out a big portfolio showing people with awful teeth, but next to them is big smiles with beautiful white teeth, showing what he can do.
And tell them how everybody on the street had the same photos.
Everybody on the street showed the same type of portfolio to attract the gringos and the people that come there for dental work.
Everybody was trying to get you to their dentist.
It's a big scam. In fact, when we were finally done and finally out of there, one of the street vendors, a young kid, asked Fernando if he could clean his boots, and so Fernando went ahead and let him. And during their conversation, it came out that Fernando was there looking for a dentist, and he said,
oh, I have the best dentist. And I'm like, no, I already have a dentist that was recommended by a friend in Houston, so no, we're good. And mind you, this is like at least the 7th attempt at getting me to see a dentist. There was hundreds of dentists along this avenue. Everybody is a dentist, and they can all do implants. And guess what? They're all a bunch of lying, thieving sons of bitches. Blunt, blunt, blunt.
Yeah. And if they're not dentists, they're apothecaries. They all have pharmacies.
They're all scam artists.
It's just one big scam there. We were so disheartened, but we were starving, so we did have lunch.
Well, wait a minute. First, I asked him, would you write me a proposal and email it to me, because I gave him my card, tell me what you're going to do and how much it's going to cost. So what's he do? He gets his prescription pad and starts handwriting what he's going to do for me. Which, by God, the 6 implants are going to be $10,200. The 2 was scratched over a 0 because, it wasn't 10,000 even, it was 10,200. And then the rest of whatever he thought he was going to do was another 4,000. So let's say 15,000. But he said that my existing upper and lower dentures were good. Lie. That my teeth are good. Lie. Because I have loose teeth. He never even mentioned or let me talk about my bridge up here that's going to come out any day. It was a scam. It was awful. Don't ever go to Mexico to have dental work done because they're all a bunch of lying, thieving sons of bitches, and I will stand by that. I would build a wall just for that.
Oh, no way. This is good enough.
Okay.
Warning people.
Sorry.
Forget the wall.
Forget the wall.
Forget the wall. But this is a warning.
It would be a dental wall.
It's like, it's all a scam. You take a risk getting work done there, not only because they're substandard, they're not clean, But also, you're just out of the reach of any retribution you may have if they screw you up, and it's a good chance that they
Right,
will.
because you're not allowed to take guns into Mexico.
Not guns. That's not
Well,
what I'm
because you
talking
can't
about.
come back and shoot the